Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, so this is lecture number 1.1 of International A Level Edexcel P3, Pure Mathematics 3. Okay, we are starting January 2027 batch. Okay, and I'm going to make recordings separately in English, inshallah. I will also use Urdu phrases as well. Okay, but whatever I explain in Urdu, I'll translate it into English as well. So this time I am making recordings in English maximum so that I can optimize for, the English speaking students as well. Okay. So previously the classes lectures were in Urdu. So basically I recorded the complete videos last time in January 2024 session, particularly for international A level at Excel P3. Okay, and then I have used those recordings which were in Urdu throughout these sessions. Okay, and now I am trying to make maximum recordings in English to accommodate the English speaking and Arabic speaking audience as well. Okay, so this particular lecture I'm recording for the class, the very first class which we conducted yesterday, which was 15th of July 2026. Okay, so this recording is for January 2027 batch. However, the very same recording will be consumed by my upcoming batches as well, inshallah, unless there are some changes in the syllabus over the period of time. So I'll update the recordings accordingly. So these recordings are going to be consumed by my upcoming online batches as well. Okay, so there is no purpose of recording the same thing over and over again. On my old iPad, previously I recorded the lectures in Urdu, and now I want to upgrade the lectures, okay, in this iPad, and particularly it's high time that I record maximum things in English. However, I will still use Urdu phrases, Urdu explanations. Okay, but whatever I will say in Urdu, I will translate it into English as well. All right, so first thing first, what you need to understand this thing that in A2, you are going to study P3 and P4 components respectively for pure mathematics. Okay, in AS, you studied P1 and P2 components of pure mathematics. So basically, whatever the effort, hard work, punctuality you put in for AS, whatever the effort, hard work, dedication, punctuality you put in AS, now in A2 you need to put 5 times of it. ठीक है, A2 में 5 गुना effort, hard work, punctuality दिखानी है. By punctuality I mean that least absenteeism, least absentees should be in class. Maximum classes you need to attend properly. Okay, from beginning till end. No more absenteeism, please. Okay, for God's sake. So in A2, you need to put 5 times of that effort. I'm collectively talking about P3 and P4. Okay, so you just need to remember this equation throughout the year. A2 is equals to 5 times of AS. Okay, because here you need to, use many formulas and identities. Okay, there are many formulas and identities which are given to you in the exam. However, there are many formulas and identities which are not given to you in the exam, and you need to learn them by heart and use them. Okay, so that's the thing basically. So first thing, you need to keep this equation in your mind throughout the session. तो छुट्टियां नहीं करनी है. No more absentees in the class. I need 100% attendances. So classes schedule has been shared with you already. Okay. I'm not going to mention the schedule right now over here in this recording because the same recording will be consumed by my upcoming batches as well. Okay, let's say we have a batch in June, let's say, for example. Okay, then let's say October 2027, January 2028, inshallah. So I'm not mentioning the schedule right now. So whichever batch is consuming my recording, right now is listening to me right now, they already know the schedule on their respective WhatsApp group. Okay, so now let's start. As you already know that all of the components, all of the components in International A-level Edexcel Math, okay, all of the components are of 75 marks, irrespective of the fact it is P1, P2, P3, P4, M1, S1, S2, etc. Every component is 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay. Now the content which I have shared with you in the WhatsApp group, first of all, we have the P3 book, the PDF of the P3 book. Okay. Then we have the math formula booklet. So this booklet basically contains those formulas and identities which will be given to you in the exam. Okay. These formulas, identities will be given to you in the exam. And thirdly, I have shared the specification course outline, you can say, the specification file, the course outline, okay, of each and every component. So in the specification course outline, when you go in the P3 section, so you will find those formulas and identities which will not be given in the exam. You need to learn these by heart. इनको याद रखना है. So ये वाली formulas और identities आपको याद रखनी है. You need to rote learn them and you would be able to use them, according to the topics which we are going to cover throughout the year, inshallah. Okay, so you need to remember two things. You have a list of formulas and identities which will be given in exam. And then there is a list of formulas and identities which will not be given in the exam. So what is the solution? क्या करें? What is the solution? The solution is that we will memorize all of them throughout the session, irrespective of the fact they are given to us in the booklet or not. क्या ही आसान solution है. ठीक है, सब याद कर लो, चाहे बुकलेट में दिया हुआ हो कि ना दिया हुआ हो. Okay, the best solution is to, you know, learn all of these formulas and identities by heart, irrespective of the fact they are given to you in the booklet or not. So by this approach, if you prepare your P3 syllabus throughout the session, so you would be able to keep all of the formulas in mind. And when in the exam, you will be given the booklet, so you will have an extra benefit, extra advantage that those formula which will be given in the exam. So let's say if you forget any of that formula or identity, so you can just see from the booklet. Okay, so the best solution is to learn them, to learn all of them by heart. And inshallah, you would be able to do so according to the classes which we are going to cover, or step by step आपको सब याद हो जाएगा. So these are the first very basic things, which you need to understand. I hope you have covered this much page. So now let's move on. So first of all, we are going to straight away start from the first chapter of P3, which is algebraic methods. Okay, so just mention the heading P3 chapter number 1, algebraic methods. All right, we are going to talk about some basic things which we have studied in P1 and P2, and then we are going to move on. And you know what? This very first chapter is the easiest chapter of P3. Okay, in this particular lecture, you are going to see that the things are very easy, very simple. The basic things are being recalled from AS level and even from O level and IGCSE. The basic things are being recalled over here. Okay, so this particular lecture you will find comparatively easier than all the upcoming lectures. Okay, so straight away, starting with the concept. First of all, if I have, mentioned something like this, x plus t. Okay, so this is basically called an algebraic expression. Agreed? X plus t, or let's say x plus 2. Okay, so let's say x square plus 2x, or let's say x plus y. So these are the examples of algebraic expression. But let's say that algebraic expression is kept equals to something, meaning you have used equals to symbol. So let's say x plus y is equals to 2. Okay, so now this will become an algebraic equation. Okay, and let's say if you used an inequality sign in any way. Okay, so this will become an algebraic inequality. So first of all, you need to clearly distinguish between what is an algebraic expression, what is an algebraic equation, and what is an algebraic inequality. Okay, so quite simple. I hope you have covered this much page. So now let's move on. So up next, we are going to see some basic concepts. Okay, so first of all, we have a key point, arithmetic operations with algebraic fractions. Okay, so we are going to talk about the arithmetic operations. Okay, so first of all, mention this key point with yourself. To multiply fractions, cancel any common factors, then multiply the numerators and denominators. Okay, so first of all, we are going to talk about the multiplication of fractions. So very basic thing, very basic example. Let's say 3 over 8 is multiplied by 16 over 4. So 16 over 4 is simplified as 4 because 4 times 1 and 4 times 4. And then 3 over 8 is multiplied by 4. So this means 4 times 1 and 4 times 2. So this means 3 multiplied by 1 divided by 2. 3 over 2 is simply your answer. This is the very basic thing which you are studying since childhood. Okay, and now we are going to talk about in algebraic terms. Okay, we are going to talk about in terms of x or the variable used in the question. Okay, so I hope you have covered this much page. Okay, so first of all, we have a basic example. Let's say x plus 1 upon 2 is multiplied by 3 divided by x square minus 1. So first thing first, I'm going to factorize this x square minus 1. Okay, because I need to see what are the common factors which can be eliminated. What is the possibility that which common factors can be eliminated? So as you are studying since O level in IGCSE mathematics and even P1 as well, that this x square minus 1 is basically x square minus 1 squared. This is the difference of the squares. So when you factorize a square minus b square, what you get is a plus b multiplied by a minus b. Okay, so this is basically an identity over here. So when you factorize x square minus 1, you simply get x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Okay, so I can, say that in place of x square minus 1, we can write x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Okay, so now we can see that x plus 1 and x plus 1 got cancelled out. This is the common factor which is being eliminated. So 3 divided by 2 multiplied by x minus 1, this is supposed to be your answer. Simple, easy. So now let's move on. Okay, so first of all, we have talked about the multiplication of the fractions. Okay, now we are going to talk about the key point is to divide two fractions, multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. All right, so we have a book example. Okay, part A is, let's say A upon B is divided by A upon C. A upon B is divided by A upon C. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to convert this into a multiplication sign, and the second fraction will be reciprocated. उल्टा हो जाएगा. Okay, so A upon B will be multiplied by C upon A. Okay, so this means that A and A got cancelled out and C over B is supposed to be your answer. This is a quite simple thing which you are studying since childhood. So basically we are going to go step by step. I'm going to carry you from the very basics up till the very advanced things. Okay, so here we have part A of this example. Okay, I hope you don't have any issue with this. Then we have part B. All right. In part B, the question is that x plus 2 upon x plus 4 is divided by 3x plus 6 upon x square minus 16. So first thing first, you are going to factorize x square minus 16. And in place of 16, I have mentioned 4 square. Okay, so this is the difference of squares. So this will be factorized as x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 4. Okay, and as far as 3x plus 6 is concerned, so 3 will be taken as common and multiplied by x plus 2. All right, so now I can say that, this sign will be converted into a multiplication sign because this fraction is divided by this fraction. The first fraction is divided by the second fraction. So this sign will be converted into a multiplication sign and the second fraction will be reciprocated. Okay. So 3x plus 6 will come down and x square minus 16 will go up. And in place of x square minus 16, I'm going to write x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 4. And in place of 3x plus 6, I'm going to write 3 multiplied by x plus 2. So x plus 2 and x plus 2 got cancelled out. X plus 4 and x plus 4 got cancelled out. Therefore, you are left with x minus 4 completely upon 3. This is supposed to be your answer. All right, simple and easy. So let's move on. So up next, we have exercise 1A, question number 1. Okay, so the question is saying that show that x square minus 64 divided by x square minus 36 when this fraction is divided by 64 minus x square upon x square minus 36, this whole thing is equals to minus 1. All right, so first thing first, this will be converted into a multiplication sign and this second fraction will be reciprocated. Okay, so x square minus 64 divided by x square minus 36 is multiplied by x square minus 36 upon, in place of 64 minus x square, I can say that taking minus sign as common, multiplied by minus 64 plus x square. Okay, so that I can identify the common factors as much as I can. So as you can see that x square minus 36 and x square minus 36 got cancelled out. And in place of minus 64 plus x square, you can simply write x square minus 64 as well. Isn't it? Makes sense. So now x square minus 64 and x square minus 64 got cancelled out. Therefore, 1 divided by minus 1, this is equals to minus 1. Simple and easy. Okay, then we have question number 2 of exercise 1A. Okay, show that 2x square minus 11x minus 40 upon x square minus 4x minus 32. And then we have a second fraction which is being multiplied and we have a third fraction which is being divided. Okay, so it is required to show that this complete expression is equals to a over b and find the values of the constants a and b where a and b are integers. Okay, so first thing first, what you need to do, you need to factorize each and every quadratic expression over here. Okay, but I've mentioned a note as well that you can also write factorized form by using the equation function in your calculator. But first you have to take integers as common where possible, as you did the same thing in P1, P2 as well, mechanics as well. Okay, so whatever the integer can be taken as common, first you take out and then you use your calculator equation function and solve the polynomial with the degree of 2, which is in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. And then you will find the roots. And once you will find the roots of that quadratic equation, you are going to write the factorized form. Okay, but just for the sake of formality, I have mentioned all the factorization steps over here. Okay, so alternatively, you can use your calculator function in that way as well. And how you are going to show the steps, I will just tell you. But here I have, mentioned the complete steps of factorization, which is not a compulsion to show, by the way. Okay. So that's the thing basically. Okay, because the thing is that when you change the mode of your calculator from the calculate mode into the equation function mode, and then you mention the equation, then you find the roots, then you write the factorized form, and then you shift the mode back to calculate mode. Okay, and then you come back onto the equation function mode. So in that meantime, you can do the factorization as well. Okay, if you are quick and efficient and effective with it. All right, so 2x square minus 11x minus 40. So 2 times 40 is basically 80, and this sign tells us that we need to subtract the factors. And in place of 80, I can write 5 multiplied by 16 as well. So we need to subtract the factors and we need to get minus 11 in between. So 5x minus 16x. Okay, these are steps you are studying since P1 and O level IGCSE math as well. Okay, so 2x square plus 5x minus 16x minus 40. So taking x as common multiplied by 2x plus 5, taking minus 8 as common multiplied by 2x plus 5. So therefore, 2x plus 5 is being exactly repeated. So 2x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 8. Okay, so what steps you can do according to this note which I have mentioned? Okay, 2x square minus 11x minus 40, there is no integer in common right now between these three terms. Okay, so you just put this expression in your calculator equation function mode. Okay, so you just go on the menu, and here I have option number A and equation function polynomial with degree of 2. Okay, ax square plus bx plus c. So 2x square minus 11x minus 40. So I have obtained two roots. One is x is equals to 8 and the other one is minus 5 over 2. X is equals to 8 and x is equals to minus 5 over 2. You have seen that these are the two roots. So x is equals to minus 5 over 2 is a root when 2x plus 5 is equated with 0. And x is equals to 8 is a root when x minus 8 is equated with 0. So you are just going to simply write this factorized form after this very first step. Okay, first this step and then this one. And here you go. Your method mark is completed in this way. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. And if anyone is having issue with this, they can talk to me about it in the class as well and even on WhatsApp as well. Okay, so that is basically the thing. Then we have x square minus 4x minus 32. So, after subtraction, we need to get in between minus 4. After subtraction, after the subtraction of factors, we need to get minus 4 in between. So 8 times 4 is 32. So x square plus 4x minus 8x minus 32. Taking x common multiplied by x plus 4. Taking minus 8 as common multiplied by x plus 4. So x plus 4 is being exactly repeated. So x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 8. Then we have x square plus 8x plus 16, which is simply the expansion of x plus 4 whole square. As you can see that, a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, or you can just do the factorization in the same way, that in place of 8 we are going to write 4 plus 4, and 4 times 4 is 16, and after addition of the factors we need to get positive 8 in between. So x square plus 4x plus 4x plus 16. So taking x as common multiplied by x plus 4, taking x as common multiplied by x plus 4, which means x plus 4 whole squared. Then we have 6x square minus 3x minus 45. Okay, so first of all, we need to take the possible integers as common. As we can see that 3 can be taken as common. So taking 3 as common, multiply by 2x square minus x minus 15. Okay, so 3 is outside and I need to factorize it. So 2 times 15 is 30. And one way to write 30 is 6 multiplied by 5. And after the subtraction of the factors, we need to get minus 1 in between. So 2x square plus 5x minus 6x minus 15. Okay, so 3 as an integer is already taken outside as common. So taking x common multiplied by 2x plus 5, taking minus 3 as common multiplied by 2x plus 5. So therefore, the fully factorized form is 3 multiplied by 2x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 3. Okay, now the thing is that if you mention this expression in your calculator equation function, although you will get the same roots, but you are going to miss this common integer out. So what you need to do, you need to be careful with this thing. First of all, you need to take integer as common and then you will use the calculator equation function mode. So in this particular expression, after using calculator function mode, first you have this step. then this step, and then the very last step. Okay. All right. And then we have 8x squared plus 20x minus 48. So 4 is taken as common. 4 is taken as common and multiplied by 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. So 2 times 12 is basically 24, and 8 times 3 is also 24. And after subtraction, we need to get positive 5 in between. So 2x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 12. Okay, so 4 is already outside. Taking 2x as common multiplied by x plus 4, taking minus 3 as common multiplied by x plus 4. All right, so 4 is completely multiplied by x plus 4 multiplied by 2x minus 3. Okay, and then we have this expression, and then we are going to take 5 as common. So here we have the expression, and here we factorized it in this way, and we got 5 multiplied by x minus 3 multiplied by 2x minus 3. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite every expression in a factorized form in order to identify the common factors. So in place of 2x squared minus 11x minus 40, we have 2x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 8. Then in place of x squared minus 4x minus 32, we have x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 8. Then in place of x squared plus 8x plus 16, we have x plus 4 whole squared. Then in place of 6x squared minus 3x minus 45, we have 3 multiplied by 2x plus 5 multiplied by x minus 3. But now this sign will be converted into a multiplication sign, and this fraction will be reciprocated. उल्टा हो जाएगा. Okay, so in place of this expanded form, I'm going to write 5 multiplied by x minus 3 multiplied by 2x minus 3. Okay, and in place of 8x squared plus 20x minus 48, I'm going to write 4 multiplied by x plus 4 multiplied by 2x minus 3. So now you can see that, this x minus 3 got cancelled out. 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3 got cancelled out. X plus 4 one time and x plus 4 one time got cancelled out. X plus 4 another time and x plus 4 got cancelled out. 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5 got cancelled out. X minus 8 got cancelled out. All of the expressions are being cancelled out. Expressions सारी cancel out हो गई हैं. All right, and you are left with only the integers. 5 divided by 3 times 4. 5 divided by 3 times 4. So 5 over 12 is supposed to be your answer. As simple as that. We have found our answer in the form of a over b, where a and b are integers. Okay, so in this way you are going to attempt this question. All right, so I hope you have copied this much page. So now let's move on. So up next we have this question number 3 of exercise 1a. The question is saying that simplify fully x squared plus 2x minus 24 upon 2x squared plus 10x multiplied by x squared minus 3x upon x squared plus 3x minus 18. Okay, we need to simplify, meaning we need to see what are the common factors. Okay, and then cancel out the common factors. So x squared plus 2x minus 24. So, this sign tells us that we need to subtract the factors, and this sign tells us that we need to get positive 2 in between. So one way is to, express 24 as 6 multiplied by 4. And after subtraction, we need to get positive 2. So x squared plus 6x minus 4x minus 24. So taking x as common multiplied by x plus 6, taking minus 4 as common multiplied by x plus 6. Okay, so therefore x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 4 is the fully factorized form. Okay, then we have x squared plus 3x minus 18. So, x squared plus 6x minus 3x and then minus 18. Okay, because this sign tells us that we need to subtract the factors, and this sign tells us that we need to get positive 3 in between. So taking x as common multiplied by x plus 6, taking minus 3 as common multiplied by x plus 6. So therefore, x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 3, this is the fully factorized form which we are looking for. Okay, so now, x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 4, and then taking 2x as common multiplied by x plus 5. Okay, I have factorized this expression as well, taking 2x as common, multiplied by x plus 5, and this will be multiplied by, in place of x square minus 3x, I have mentioned the factorized form, meaning taking x as common, multiplied by x minus 3. And in place of x square plus 3x minus 18, we are going to write x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 3. So as you can see that x minus 3 and x minus 3 got cancelled out, x plus 6 and x plus 6 got cancelled out, this x and x also got cancelled out. What you are left with, x minus 4 divided by 2 multiplied by x plus 5. X minus 4 divided by 2 times x plus 5. Okay, so x minus 4 divided by 2x plus 10, this is supposed to be your answer. So either you can write your answer in this form or in this form. Both are equivalent forms of each other. Okay, so in any way you can write your answer. All right, so this was exercise 1A, question number 3. Now we have a question which is question number 4. Okay, here we have a function fx is equals to 2x square minus 3x minus 2 upon 6x minus 8. This is divided by x minus 2 upon 3x square plus 14x minus 24. So in part A, we need to show that fx is equals to 2x square plus 13x plus 6 completely divided by 2. Okay, and then in part B, we need to differentiate this expression and find f dash 4, meaning the gradient of the function at x is equals to 4. Okay, so the concept of differentiation you are studying since P1, P2, and even IGCSE math as well. Okay, so first thing first, I'm going to factorize this quadratic expression 2x square minus 3x minus 2. Okay, so 2 times 2 is basically 4. Okay, and after subtraction, we need to get minus 3 in between. So 2x square plus x minus 4x and then minus 2. So taking x as common multiplied by 2x plus 1, taking minus 2 as common multiplied by 2x plus 1. Therefore, the fully factorized form is 2x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 2. Then we have 3x square plus 14x minus 24. Okay, so 3 multiplied by 24 is basically 72. And 18 multiplied by 4 is also 72. And we need to subtract the factors and we need to get positive 14 in between. So in place of 14x, I can write 18x minus 4x. Okay, so 3x square plus 18x minus 4x minus 24. Or alternatively, you can just use the calculator equation function mode as well. As you can see that there is no integer which can be taken as common right now. So just use this expression as it is. So taking 3x as common multiplied by x plus 6, taking minus 4 as common multiplied by x plus 6. So therefore, x plus 6 multiplied by 3x minus 4. Okay, so now we are going to, simplify and we will write the factorized forms. Okay, in place of 6x minus 8, I'm going to write 2 multiplied by 3x minus 4. All right, taking 2 as common multiplied by 3x minus 4. And here we have the factorized form of 3x squared plus 14x minus 24. And here we have x minus 2 as it is. And this sign is converted into a multiplication sign. And this fraction is basically reversed. Okay, this fraction is basically reciprocated. So in place of 3x squared plus 14x minus 24, we have the factorized form. Okay, so we are going to multiply these two fractions. And as we can see that 3x minus 4, 3x minus 4 got cancelled out. X minus 2 and x minus 2 got cancelled out. And therefore, you are left with 2x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 6 completely divided by 2. Okay, but in part A, you need to show a specific form 2x squared plus 13x plus 6 completely divided by 2. So you are going to expand these two factors. All right. So 2x into x, this will give you 2x squared. Then 2x will be multiplied by 6. So this will give you 12x. Then 1 multiplied by x, this will give you x. And then 1 multiplied by 6, this will give you 6. So 2x squared plus 12x plus x plus 6 completely divided by 2, meaning 2x squared plus 13x plus 6 completely divided by 2. In this way, you have shown part A. So now let's come on to part B. In part B, we need to differentiate this. Okay, so since you are studying since P1 and P2, that when we want to differentiate the algebraic terms, okay, so first of all, we need to identify the terms in this form. We need to arrange the terms in this form, a multiplied by x raised to the power of n. So when I'm differentiating a multiplied by x raised to the power of n with respect to x, so this power n will come down and it will be multiplied with a. The variable x you will write as it is, and 1 will be subtracted from the power. So you can say that in the very next step, you are going to differentiate the term. Okay, the term has come in the form which you can differentiate now. All right. So first of all, what you need to do, you need to arrange each and every term in the form a multiplied by x raised to the power of n. हर टर्म को हमने a multiplied by x की power n की फॉर्म में लेके आना है. ठीक है. So right now this is expressed as a single fraction. I'm going to write it as individual terms, since 2 is underneath each and every term. अभी ये सिंगल फ्रैक्शन की फॉर्म में एक्सप्रेस हुआ है तो इंडिविजुअली तौर पे लिख दूंगा. सो 2x² अपॉन 2 प्लस 13 अपॉन 2 कंप्लीटली मल्टीप्लाई बाय x प्लस 6 अपॉन 2. So fx is x² plus 13 upon 2 into x plus 3. So therefore we are going to differentiate each and every term. So when x² is differentiated, it will become 2x. Okay, because 2 comes down, x as it is, and 1 is subtracted from the power. Okay, and when 13x upon 2 is differentiated, so this will become 13 over 2. And when this constant 3 is differentiated, this will become 0. So don't need to mention this. Okay, therefore you have f dash x, which is equal to 2x plus 13 upon 2. So first requirement in part B was to differentiate fx. And now we want to find f dash 4, meaning we need to find the value of f dash x function, f prime x function at x is equals to 4. Okay, meaning we need to find the gradient of the curve at x is equals to 4. Okay, so f dash 4 will be 2 multiplied by 4 plus 13 over 2. So this is 29 over 2. The value of f dash 4 is equals to 29 over 2. This is supposed to be your answer. All right, simple. So now let's move on. I hope you have copied this much. So up next, we have the next concept. So far, exercise 1A is done. The concept of exercise 1A is done along with the questions. Now we have the next concept and a few examples. And exercise 1B practice we are going to start in the very next class, in the very next lecture. And then we are going to move on to the further concepts as well. Okay, so addition and subtraction of fractions. So first of all, we have a key point. To add or subtract two fractions, find a common denominator. Okay, to add or subtract two fractions, you need to find a common denominator. So here we have an example. Okay, 2 over 3 plus 3 over 8. A very basic example which you are studying since childhood. Okay, so 2 over 3 plus 3 over 8. So first of all, we need to express this as a single fraction. So first of all, we are going to find the LCM of 3 and 8. So as you can see that between 3 and 8, there is no number common. कोई भी number common नहीं है between 3 and 8. Okay, so 3 will be multiplied by 8 to get you the LCM. But the proof of this thing is that the basic steps of finding the LCM. So starting from the smaller number. So 3 is not coming in the table of 2. So 3 you will write as it is underneath 3. But 2 into 4 is basically 8. And then 3 will come underneath as it is. Okay, because 3 cannot be divided by 2. But 2 into 2 is basically 4. Okay, and then 3 as it is. And then 2 times 1 is basically 2. And now we are going to pick 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. And here we write 1 as it is. So in the end, you are left with 1 comma 1. Now, how to see that if you have found the proper LCM? In the end, when you are left with 1 comma 1, so you multiply all these numbers to get the lowest common multiple. You multiply all of these numbers to get the LCM. एंड में जब 1,1 बच जाएगा तो इन सारे नंबर्स को मल्टीप्लाई करा के एलसीएम आ जाएगा. ओके, सो 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 cube is 8 and 8 into 3 is 24. So LCM is basically 24. And now you need to ask yourself by what number I multiply 3 such that I get 24. I need to multiply 3 with 8. So the numerator will also be multiplied by 8. So in the numerator we have 16. And then you need to ask yourself by what number you multiply 8 such that you get 24. So 8 multiplied by 3 is 24. So the numerator will also be multiplied by 3. So there you go, 16 plus 9 completely divided by 24, meaning 25 over 24 is supposed to be your answer. This is a very basic example which you are studying since childhood. Okay, but now you are grown up. Okay, so here we have another example. A upon 2x plus b upon 3x. Okay, now the common mistake which students usually do, the common mistakes which students usually do is that, when finding the LCM, they always multiply the terms together. And a very common mistake in the students is that they will say that the LCM is 6x square, meaning 2x multiplied by 3x. However, this is not the case. Okay, so we are going to find the LCM in the very same way, 2x and 3x. So first of all, 2 multiplied by x is basically 2x. Okay, but 3x will be mentioned as it is. And then we are going to start with 3. X will come as it is underneath x, but 3 multiplied by x will give you 3x. And now we have x in the end. So x into 1 is x, and x into 1 is x. So in the end, you are left with 1 comma 1. So 2 into 3 into x, this will give you the LCM. Okay, so the LCM is supposed to be 6x over here. And now you are going to follow the same procedure. Okay, so by what term you multiply 2x such that you get 6x over here, you need to multiply 3. So the numerator will also be multiplied by 3. So in the numerator, we have 3a. And then you need to ask yourself by what term you multiply 3x such that you get 6x. Obviously, you multiply it with 2. So the numerator of this fraction will also be multiplied by 2. So 3a plus 2b completely divided by 6x. Okay, so that is basically the thing. Then we have another example. 2 upon x plus 3 minus 1 upon x plus 1. Now, as you can see that these are two distinct factors in which, exactly a factor is not being repeated. ये दोनों डिस्टिंक्ट फैक्टर्स हैं, अलग अलग फैक्टर्स हैं, इनमें कुछ भी पूरा पूरा कॉमन नहीं आ रहा. Alright, so these two distinct factors will be multiplied together in order to give you the LCM. And for that purpose, I have explained the proof in the same way. However, you don't need to mention this complete proof of finding the LCM each and every time. Okay, it's just for the sake of formality and just for basic understanding. हर बार आपको ये करने की need नहीं है. You don't need to show these steps each and every time. But however, in the initial questions, I will use this thing to show you the LCM, and then I'm going to tell you a quick procedure to find the LCM in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to take the LCM of x plus 3 and x plus 1. Okay, so starting with x plus 1, or you can start with x plus 3 as well, but a usual practice is to start with the smaller number, so we are actually using the smaller expression. So, x plus 1 cannot be multiplied by anything to give you exactly x plus 3. So x plus 3 will be mentioned as it is underneath x plus 3. However, when x plus 1 is multiplied by 1, this will give you x plus 1. Okay, and when x plus 3 is multiplied by 1, this will give you x plus 3. Okay, and And here you have already obtained 1, so 1 will be mentioned as it is. In the end, you are left with 1 comma 1. Now, how to see if you have found the correct LCM? So in the end, when you are left with 1 comma 1, so the product of these two expressions is going to be the LCM. एंड में जब 1 कॉमा 1 बच जाएगा तो इन दोनों टर्म्स को मल्टीप्लाई करा के एलसीएम आ जाएगा. All right. So LCM is going to be x plus 1 into x plus 3, or you can just simply say x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 1. All right. So now you need to ask yourself by what term you need to multiply x plus 3 in order to give you x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 1. Obviously, you need to multiply it with x plus 1. So the numerator of this fraction will also be multiplied by x plus 1. So 2 multiplied by x plus 1. And then we have a subtraction sign. So mention the subtraction sign as it is. And then you need to ask yourself by what term you multiply x plus 1 such that you get x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 1 completely. Obviously, you need to multiply this x plus 1 with x plus 3. So the numerator is also be supposed to multiply with x plus 3. And we have already mentioned the subtraction sign first. Okay. So 1 multiplied by x plus 3 after the subtraction sign. Okay. So now I'm going to expand the numerator over here. So 2x plus 2 minus x minus 3. So 2x minus x is basically x, and 2 minus 3 is minus 1. This is divided by x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 1. Here we have obtained a form after which we cannot cancel out any common factors. So here you go. This is supposed to be your answer. All right. So now let's move on. Coming on to the last page. Here we have one more example, and then we are going to conclude this lecture over here. And exercise 1B practice is going to start in the next class, meaning the very next lecture, and then the further concepts. Okay. So taking you step by step from basics up till advanced, irrespective of the fact that you have studied AS level from me or not. Okay. I need to treat all students equally. Each and every student is aware that, when I'm teaching a particular component, let's say when I'm teaching P1, so I also recall the concepts of O-level IGCSE math. When I'm teaching the component of P2, I am recalling the P1 concepts as well. So in the same way, when I'm teaching P3, I'm going to recall the concepts of P2, P1, and O-level IGCSE as well, where it is important, wherever it is important. Okay, so as you are already aware of the fact that right now we are dealing with very basic things. बट क्या होता है छुट्टियों में बच्चों के दिमाग को जंग लग जाता है ना बेटा, तो वो जंग को दूर भी करना है, जंग को साफ भी करना है. Okay, in vacations, students, what happens is that they usually forget the basic things. All right, they have a lot of distractions in their life, obviously, and obviously each and every student has the right to enjoy the vacations. But now the study mode is on. You need to get back on track. Okay, you need to stay ahead of your syllabus. All right. So that's the thing basically. So due to this reason, I'm taking each and every one from basics up till advanced, which I always do. All right. So just flexing my skills. So 3 upon x plus 1 minus 4x upon x square minus 1. Okay. So in place of this x square minus 1, I'm going to write the factorized form, which is x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Okay. So right now, just focus on this much working. And then I'm going to explain the way of, showing the LCM, which is not a compulsion to do so. Okay. In this very question, you can just simply see how you are able to find LCM without any of this working. Okay. So the rule which I'm trying to tell you is that, first of all, you obtained your fractions in this form. And now you need to see which expression is being exactly repeated, which particular factor is being exactly repeated. X plus 1 is being exactly repeated, so it will be mentioned only one time, only once. And then this will be multiplied by the remaining factor. जो चीज रिपीट हो रही है उसको एग्जैक्टली एक मर्तबा लिख देंगे. x प्लस वन रिपीट हो रहा है, पूरा पूरा x प्लस वन रिपीट हो रहा है, एग्जैक्टली एक मरतबा लिख दिया, एंड देन मल्टीप्लाइड बाय x माइनस वन. Here you go. This is your LCM. Just in a moment you have found the LCM. Okay, and now here is the proof. Okay, so I need to find the LCM of x plus 1 and x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. So if you start from x minus 1, so it's completely fine. So since you know x minus 1 cannot be multiplied a certain thing such that you get x plus 1 completely as it is. Okay, so x plus 1 will be mentioned over here as it is. It will be copied down as it is. However, when x minus 1 is multiplied by x plus 1, this will give you x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. And then x plus 1 multiplied by 1 is x plus 1, and x plus 1 multiplied by 1 is x plus 1. In the end, you are left with 1 comma 1. So whatever the product of the terms is over here, that is the LCM, and that is x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 1, or you can say x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Even if you start from x plus 1, you are going to get exactly the same thing, exactly the same LCM. Okay, so here is just a proof. Again, I'm mentioning this thing for the 25th time in this recording that this is not a compulsion to mention this working over here. But right now we are dealing with the initial questions, so I'm going to mention these steps as well, along with the practice and questions, and over the period of time, you can simply just identify what is the LCM just in a moment, according to the rule which I've described. So the thing which is being exactly repeated will come once and the other things will be multiplied together. All right. So you need to remember this English. और उर्दू में जो बात समझाई कि जो चीज रिपीट हो रही है, एग्जैक्टली जो रिपीट हो रहा है उसको एज इट इज लिख दो और बाकी चीजों को मल्टीप्लाई करा के लिख दो. बच्चों वाली बात. All right. So you need to ask yourself by what term you multiply x plus 1 such that you get x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. Obviously, you need to multiply it with x minus 1. So 3 will be multiplied by x minus 1 as well. So 3 multiplied by x minus 1. And then we have subtraction sign. Okay, and you need to ask yourself by what term you multiply x plus 1 into x minus 1 such that you get x plus 1 into x minus 1. Obviously, you need to multiply it with 1. So the numerator will also be multiplied with 1. So 4x as it is. So 3x minus 3 minus 4x divided by x plus 1 times x minus 1. So 3x minus 4x is minus x. And then here we have minus 3. So minus x minus 3 divided by x plus 1 into x minus 1. This is supposed to be your answer. Okay, so here we conclude this lecture number 1.1 of International A-Level Edexcel P3. Okay, and inshallah in the very next lecture we are going to continue and move on. Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum.